guys, welcome to the channel. If you're not new, welcome back. Just finished watching episode 4 of Breaking Bad. A really good episode. So he told Skyler, he told his family, and she subsequently told her sister and her cop husband. And yeah, that was fucking emotional. They were having this little brunch or whatever, and the sister was like, "Oh, how'd you guys meet? Tell Walter Jr. how you guys met. Oh, that's so cute." And Skyler starts crying. And they're like, "What's wrong? Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you bawling right now?" And she's like, "Ask Walter." And she storms off. And he's like, "Yeah, I have cancer. It's bad. Stage 3. Not looking good." And also on top of that, it looks like the cop guy is kind of catching on that there are more meth makers around, right? He notices that the Emilio cousins, I guess, have been taken out, and they've been watching them for some time. So they're like, okay, well, did they just disappear? That doesn't make much sense. There must be a new king in town. Cutscene to Walt and his big stomach and his hairy legs. It was just fucking amazing. Because he's like the least person you'd expect to be doing something like this, of that caliber. He's just brushing his teeth. He just looks normal. Very fucking good. Very hilarious. It looks like Walt Jr. is having a hard time coping with his father having cancer. It seems like he's kind of acting out. He's kind of acting out of character. You know, it's like teenage angst, but on top of the angst, my dad's dying. So it's like, fuck, right? So he kind of has a few outbursts when they start discussing treatment and whatnot. Skyler was like, okay, like, yeah, like, this is exactly what Walter didn't want, right? He didn't want them worrying. He didn't want Skyler crying. He didn't want his son to have to live their final moments like, okay, my dad's gonna die. But I do think it's better that he affords them the prep time to prepare for him to die than it just be a sudden death and then they find out in hindsight, oh shit, he had cancer, right? Now they have time to kind of brace themselves and cherish every moment. Like the son, he doesn't take the bus, right? He doesn't take the bus, he just stays just to be in his father's presence. And that was just so sweet. But yeah, he kind of got a little angry at Walt for saying, hey, no treatment because it's $90,000, and if it doesn't work, then you just have a bunch of debt to pay off, which is valid. It's so valid, right? Like, if they agree to some installment plan and say halfway through the, treatment, Walt just dies, he still got treated on. They still have to pay for that. And Skyler, she's, 6-7 months pregnant. She's like, I'll go back to work. Woo, woo, woo. Walt's like, no. And so Walt Jr.'s like, hey, then just fucking die. And I kind of like how his story ends in this episode with him fucking up that guy's car, right? The asshole who was like, yeah, the girl's a cow. Yeah, I'm a bad businessman. Whatever, I'm big business, right? He fucks up his car. I thought that was iconic. The car explodes and then Walt's just walking away. I thought that was really fucking good visuals. Just like this new leaf of life that he has. And yeah, now he's coughing up blood. We saw him like knocking out a bit in other episodes. Now we see that he's coughing up blood. It looks like his symptoms are getting worse. Something kind of, something you don't want to hear, but like feels good to hear regardless. When the cop guy is like, hey, the sister's husband, the cop. He's like, hey, regardless of what happens, I just want you to know that I'm going to take care of your family. He's like, regardless of what happens, I know you're going to fucking die. Right? And that fucking hurts to hear. That hurts to hear, but it's like, it's reassuring at the same time. So it's like, fuck, would I want to hear that? No. Like, I would kind of want somebody to be like, hey, you're going to fight this and you're going to win. I feel like that would feel better in my spirit than hearing, hey, regardless of what happens, yeah, just know I'll be there for your family. Like, it feels good to hear, to know that, your family's not going to be alone. Somebody's going to be looking out for them. But at the same time, it's like, damn, so you're saying I'm going to die. But the real star of the show, this episode, I want to highlight is Jesse fucking Pinkman. This dumbass, you can't fucking trust crackheads, right? This dumbass gives the Walter meth to his crackhead friends, and they're like, damn, that's some good shit. And you already knew that they were gonna run their lips. You already knew. And that's why he was hesitant at first. He was like, I got weed. And they're like, we're actually heading out. And he's like, just kidding. I need friends so bad, right? So he gives them some of the meth, right, that Walt cooked. And then, of course, some thugs come to his house the next day, ready to fuck him up. Because the streets talk, right? Like, you can't tell one crack addict that, hey, I got this good shit, and expect them not to run their mouth. So they did what they were gonna do. They ran their fucking lips, and it caught to the wrong ears, and now Jesse Pinkman's house is a hot spot. And so we get the time-old classic tale of the, fuck up son who comes back home, and the parents are like, this is your umpteenth chance. We've given you chance and chance and chance and chance. Don't fuck it up this time. And they give him another chance. And then, of course, something happens and it's fucked up. And it never is really that kid's fault. And, of course, his 10-year-old brother is smoking weed. What the fuck? Like, I grew up around these people. I can't pretend to know much about white people. Do they start at 10? Do some of the, weed at 10? I don't get it. Like, maybe he's older than 10. Maybe he's 14. I don't know. He looks 10. I'm like, what the fuck? He's 10. It's his? Are you kidding? But yeah, we just see a little tension between the brothers. The little brother's like, you're the favorite. They always talk about you. So it seems like he doesn't get the attention that he needs, And like, as a psychologist, it's really easy to feel like the forgotten child when, you have a sibling who's either sick, really sick, or they're a fuck up and they're always getting into trouble. It's easy to feel forgotten or not paid attention to because your parents are so worried about the fuck up child. Your parents are so worried about the sick child that you kind of start fending for yourself a little bit, right? You kind of learn, okay, well, I'm not a drug addict, right? So of course parents aren't going to pay attention to me. Guess I have to fend for myself. It's like, what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of in class, like the bad kid who would finally start to be good would get like a reward for being good. And it's like all of us good kids don't get rewarded for being good. We're just expected to be good. How is that fair? Right, so that's probably how his little brother feels about, like, the attention. Like, I'm a good boy. Where's my attention? And here's this fuck up who's, in and out of trouble, but that commands attention, right? And that's taking away... Where's the camera? Because I don't know what I'm looking at right now. Whatever. But that situation with a fuck up child, it commands attention. And so the good child ends up feeling left out or not paid attention to. Yeah, I just felt so sad and so bad for Jesse this episode, but it was really nice to kind of see his family, see what's going on with him, to get this little POV of who Jesse Pinkman is, right? Outside of his, I cook meth, I was a bad student, etc. What I found cute was the little Walter homework he had, and on the back, the teacher's like, what the F? Apply yourself, right? And I feel like that's gonna be relevant coming up in the future. Like maybe, and this is me like guessing, I don't fucking know, but I think this is a spoiler. And I think I'm hitting the nail on the head. At some point, Jesse's gonna want to stop selling. And Walter's gonna be like, fuck you. We're in this to the death. We're ride or dies. And Jesse's gonna be like, damn, remember when you told me to apply myself? Well, right now I'm trying to fucking apply myself. And Walter's gonna be like, nah, bitch. You're my cookmate. But anyways, it was a pretty good episode. I like the Skyler involvement now. I like, did Walter glue his cut shut? What the fuck? Because he has cancer. Okay, that makes sense. Because when you have cancer, you don't heal correctly. Your body fails to make the stuff that creates scabs. So that's why he glued his cut shut. I get it. Okay, that makes sense. Damn. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Come back next time for a new video about Breaking Bad. Probably gonna be after the new core of Attack on Titan comes out because I'm kind of focused on that right now. So we'll see how it goes. But until next time, bye.